Ivy Meyer's Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. We're all big on community policing, caps24.org. Jewish Chicago will be coming out for your early voting pleasure in mid-October. We don't have the exact date yet, but make sure you check it out. You can check us out. If you go to the ntnm.org site, we're going to put a link pretty soon to Jewish Chicago there, and you'll remind me later, Sonny. So anyway, it is my pleasure to introduce you to a sitting judge, somebody we have on the show before, somebody we've endorsed before, who's running in one of the very few contested races in Cook County this year, and that is Judge Andrea Schleifer. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, Avi?
First of all, very good. Thank you for coming. And you are running in the 12th Sub-Circuit.
Correct.
And why don't you tell us where the 12th Sub-Circuit is?
The 12th Sub-Circuit starts at the lake. It has a little bit of the northwest Kenilworth Gardens in Wilmette. Then it goes north to Lake Cook Road, west to Arlington Heights, misses the northwest corner of Arlington Heights, and then goes further west down, catches a little bit of Rolling Meadows, all of Elk Grove Township, all of most of Glenview, all of Northbrook, most of Northfield, Des Plaines, Mount Prospect, Prospect Heights, big area.
So that's definitely a big area, a lot to cover. So, and tell us about how long have you been a judge at this point?
It'll be 2 years in October.
And I will point out, because I did review you in the primary issue, you have very good judicial ratings. I mean, across the board, everybody seems to like you and think you've got all the qualifications any good judge needs.
Well, thank you. I've had a great time, and I love the job. I was a lawyer for 31 years practicing, and it's just amazing sitting on the other side. You know, I see a lot of the things that I wish I hadn't done as a lawyer, but I think I'm kind of gentle with lawyers. And the last call that I had a lot of pro se litigants. So it took a lot of patience.
Oh, for us laymen.
That people representing themselves.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm hearing trials. So it's
very nice.
Yes, it's much more organized and very interesting. You get into in-depth issues. So I really get enjoy the chance to really do some research on issues, and the law is not always what we want it to be, but I have to follow it.
No, there's no question about it. It wouldn't be a good thing if a judge didn't follow the law.
Right.
Where are you stationed now?
I'm still at the Daly Center, which is where I've been since I was appointed. I'm now in the Domestic Relations Division, but I had been for 16 months in parentage and child support. So that was people who had children and were either fighting over money or fighting over visitation and custody. Now I'm hearing all sorts of matters, including property division and maintenance, as well as the custody and visitation.
Very good. And so yeah, this is interesting stuff. What kind of law did you practice when you practiced law?
I did all sorts of civil cases. A lot of people considered me a domestic relations lawyer or a family lawyer because I represented a lot of families, but it might have been representing their small business, representing them in an adoption, representing them in a discrimination case. So it was individuals that I was representing, and I appeared in every division of the circuit court except felony criminal matters.
Very good. And by the way, we have to be careful because, you know, judges are really not allowed to campaign, and not even run, like, can't get on a soapbox and say 40 acres and a mule and, you know, we're going to get you in office. Can't do that. And by the way, I was about to say, and it would have been a mistake to tell you that that there were a couple of judges earlier, you know, in the very recent past that all told me how much they like you. You've got a lot of support among a lot of people, and as a matter of fact, some of the elected officials that I respect the most, which isn't a whole lot of elected officials, every single one to a person, indicating men and women both, don't want to get anybody in trouble here, all, when I say, like, who do you think I should get for the judicial elections, they're all telling me, how terrific you are, and you're the first person everybody mentions in the judicial races. So you should feel complimented, because these are some
really
very good
appreciate
people.
that.
It's my pleasure. So anyway, you're not allowed to campaign or stump, but you still, you've got to meet people, you've got to let...
I think it's very important. People don't really realize that they may elect the legislature, they may elect a president or a governor, but when the laws come down, it's the judge that interacts with them. And they should know that a judge has integrity, has the demeanor to apply the law, and understands what it is to be in the trenches in front of a judge. It's a very, very intimidating position to be in. And I think that by going out and meeting the individuals that I am meeting at train stops and at various farm stands around the district, that they get excited. A lot of people say, I've never met a judge before. And they should. In smaller areas in the state, smaller counties, everybody knows the judges.
Interesting.
And when people say, well, we really shouldn't have elected judges, well, that's because Chicago is so big and Cook County is so big. You don't get a chance to really know who the people are. That's not true in most of the 102 counties in the state.
I know that's very interesting. I never thought about that. But that's very interesting. Definitely. So, well, basically, listen, by getting out and meeting people, that's the best way to do things. So you speak at various events, and you get invited places too, and things like that?
Sometimes I get invited places, but I just like to go out and be places and meet people at the different events where they don't expect somebody to come in campaigning. I don't like to really campaign. I just really want to meet people.
Yeah, no, that's the smartest way to do things, personal contact. That sounds great. I do want to mention also, by the way, that, of course, me on the show, as well as me as publisher of Jewish Chicago, you have our full endorsement, 100%.
I appreciate that.
And we'll be pushing you very hard in our election issue. And that's me campaigning, not her. She plays by the rules. She's a fair and honest person. If people...
I can't ask people to vote for me.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That much campaigning I can do.
Okay.
I just can't tell them what my position's on anything.
And can people contact you and ask you to speak at their event or whatever?
Absolutely.
Okay.
www.electjudgeschleifer.org.
And Schleifer, and your name's under the screen, but it's Schleifer, not bad without glasses. I want to thank you very much, Judge Andrea Schleifer, the endorsed candidate of Jewish Chicago and the Northtown News Magazine. I want to wish you a lot of luck in the election, and we're going to ask you to come back because we think this race is that important. I want to thank my entire technical crew, Sonny Hirsch. I want to thank you for joining us, everybody. Check out our website at ntnm.org, communitypolicingcaps24.org. I'm your host, Avi Myers. Tune in again next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.